Alrighty, so let's see what my opponent is going for. It's important that we scout out roughly what it is they are building as well. Basically, there's like a list of builds that I have to cross off. So right now, I know it's not a cannon rush. Or very unlikely it's going to be a delayed cannon rush. And we have to basically cross several builds off of that list. And therefore decide what it is we are going to go for. So my Overlord is making its way across right now. Cybercore is finishing up at the normal time, so there's likely an expansion. Is he going to get Warp Gate immediately or not? He is not getting Warp Gate immediately, so that's a big deal right there. When they don't get Warp Gate immediately, it usually indicates that they're saving gas to go up towards Stargate tech. So that's what I'm looking for right now. I'm basically just waiting for that Warp Gate research to start, which it hasn't yet. So I'm going to make the assumption that this is going to be a Stargate-based opener from him. It is a Stalker first, though. So that's relatively uncommon, actually. Most people will go for that Adept first, just because they can go ahead and scout, which makes me think that the probe might still be out there somewhere, but... Overlord manages to stay alive, which is good. I expected there to be an Oracle already, though. Haven't seen a Phoenix yet either, which is actually kind of confusing. Gotta go ahead and get a Roach Warren right now. The timing right there on that gas in the natural is also rather late. So I'm still expecting another expansion to be built here in just a second. Although, at this point, there's finally that Phoenix. That's super late. At this point, you'd imagine... that he's gonna go for some sort of 2-base all-in. His build seems a little bit wonky, but... I mean, I'm not gonna complain. I'm just gonna save up right now. Got the Roach Warren just about to finish. We got scouts right here over at his 3rd base. And I'm just gonna start making a lot of roaches now. I haven't seen a Prism move out, but... I'll send one of my own Overseer scouts in. Was that a Prism? Double Oracle here. Those are some very late Oracles. So there is a 3rd expansion coming up. He immediately goes after the Queen with the most hit points. Woo! That is 100% good for me. And... Alright. Hey, look, guys, it's the same Protoss. You think he's gonna do something else this time around? I'm just gonna do the same build. Same map, same Protoss, same opponent. Different spawn locations, though. Yeah, he's doing the exact same thing so far. So, is he gonna go Warp Gate research this time immediately? He does. So he is playing a different build. If I were to make an educated guess, I would assume this is gonna be some sort of 2-base push. I'm still gonna go ahead and grab my own 3rd. I don't know if it's a Stalker, but... Let's see if we can poke in here. Yeah, it is gonna be that Stalker first. Alright, so usually in these kind of situations, I can go ahead and not really worry too much about what's going on. Until a little while later. I'm gonna put the drones back into the gas. I'm gonna grab a lair right here at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And then as soon as I have enough saturation in the natural, that's when I will pick up some additional gas. And that's right now. I will also add on a Roach Warren here. So this is a very safe way of playing. Let's go ahead and inject all of those bases. And we'll have a look at what my opponent wants to build here. So the key right now is to not over-drone. Usually I've found that 40 drones is pretty safe. If you want to be safer than that, you can go up to like 38 or so, but don't really want to go a whole lot more than 40. So he can support a maximum of 44 probes on 2 bases. Looks like in this game, though, it's going to be something different. Okay. Yeah, there's no aggression here just yet. I'm going to start making some roaches. I'm going to start up making an Overseer here as well, in case it is Dark Templar play. I'm going to leave these Zerglings over here, and we're just going to start making non-stop army here. I also want to start up Roach Speed. There we go. And we'll just start making non-stop army. So whatever he has, it's going to usually be ground-based. And my units should be pretty good against that kind of thing. Okay, so as long as I don't miss control, we should be okay. So there's several different ways you can go about doing this kind of push for him. Okay, I was gonna say. Oh, it's just gonna be zealots, apparently. Okay. If I could get a bit of a wall off, that'd be super useful. So this is all about time right now. He just used charge over here, which is great for me. Although I got to be a little bit careful. Nah, not a blind counter, buddy. I scouted all the information that I needed. So I beat him 2 times in a row. Looks like he's not all too happy about that. Now, this is a legitimate thing, though. So there's a couple of keys here that may seem like I don't scout, okay? They may look as if I'm not scouting. Let me try and point this out real quick. So if I rewind the game, we all know what that means, right?
Yeah, it's rewind time.
There's a couple of things that we know. First off, when my first Overlord makes its way across the map, which is right over here, this is right at the very beginning of the game, I see that the Cybercore is only just now about to finish up, right? So when you think about it, let's switch on over to no, not the cantina, to the lecture hall. All right. So, Cybercore finishes. Protoss can do one of the following. They can go Twilight Council, they can go Stargate, or they can go Robotics. That's how you write Robotics, by the way, totally. Here's the thing. Twilight Council, 100 gas. Robotics, 100 gas. Stargate, 150 gas. Usually, right around this time in the game, Protoss doesn't have infinite amounts of gas. So if they want to go for a Stargate-based opener, they will delay their Warp Gate research. And Warp Gate research is scoutable inside of the Cybercore. So, in this case, if we go back into the game, I see right here that my opponent does not have an upgrade start, or it starts up an upgrade immediately. So upon him starting up an upgrade immediately, right here, you can see that the research starts. I know that it's not going to be a Stargate play almost every single time, because if he wanted to go for Stargate, he tried to get it as fast as possible, thus he would delay Warp Gate, right? So that's like our first little tell. Right now I'm putting him on either Robotics or Twilight Council. With Twilight Council, he could go for Blink, he could go for Glaive the Depths, he could go for Charge Slots, he could go for Dark Templar, he could go for Archon. Okay, so he's got like a... This will be on the test, by the way, guys, so I hope you're paying attention. But there's a lot of different options that he's still got available, but it's going to be a ground-based army. Now, I know that there's a couple different other things right here as well. First off, we can note that a Protoss player, for maximum saturation on 2 bases, is going to have 32 probes on minerals, 16 in the natural, 16 in the main, and then maybe, it depends on how much gas they take, 6 to 12 or so right here on gas. When I see that there's no gas in the natural, when I mentioned just now it could be Archon, Dark Templar, Blink Stalker, Zealot, or Adept, basically the first 3 options fall off already. If you want to go Archons or you want to go Dark Templar, you need 4 gases properly. If you want to go Blink Stalker, you need like 3 gases properly. So that basically only leaves Zealots and Adepts. Now there's also a couple different options. You could go for like 2 Immortals with like 7 gateways on the back of it. There's a little bit of variety, but I know it's going to be relatively gateway focused. Then the last little bit of information that is also worth pointing out, that is also not technically scouted, is a 3rd base timing. So usually Protosses will take their 3rd base at the 5-minute mark. If you don't see a Protoss taking a 3rd base at the 5-minute mark, you should be making blind units anyway. So right here, I've got a Zergling checking out both of the locations for a 3rd. And, well, I mean, 1 on 1 is 2, you know? I know that this is going to be a big push. Also, in this case, I went for the 3.5-minute lair. The reason for that is also pretty strict. You can go up to, like, I think 3 minutes and 40 seconds, but it's a little late. If your opponent is going for Dark Templar, which it could be, Usually they will arrive. It's a little hard to say. I think they will arrive right around 4 minutes and some seconds. So, or rather like 4.5 minutes-ish. So basically, if you start up a 330 lair, and you start up an Overseer immediately, once the lair finishes, you should be able to counter any kind of Dark Templar play. So I immediately do start up the Overseer right here. And upon me getting up to about 40-ish workers, I decide to stop droning and just start making non-stop armies. So yes, I technically didn't scout his main base, but we can sort of like deduct all of the different options of builds that he's got. And all of the information combined sort of points towards the fact that he's likely going to go for an all-in like this. And you know what? If he wouldn't have gone for a push and he would have gone for a delayed third base, I would have made all these units anyway and pushed right when Roach Speed finished up. So, yeah, I think all things considered, this is one of the stronger builds you can play in ZVP. And it should keep you safe. Now, I decided to go for a couple of Evo Chambers here to like create a bit of a choke point, I suppose. But I know that right now, since I have a lot of economy, compared to him at the very least, the longer that this goes on, the more I can delay the army, the bigger my advantage will become. Because every minute that goes by, I just simply get more resources than he does. So as long as I get a decent trade, it's okay. Now, obviously, ideally, you snipe the Prism. And that's going to be like the end-all, be-all scenario. But yeah, can't complain here. So it looks as if Zerg might be map hacking sometimes. But just simply seeing the lack of gas, or the lack of a third base at a certain timing, or, you know, seeing an upgrade start immediately, it's a big, big tell. So, hey, I hope at the very least that helped out some of you.